Good morning, everybody. Outside of today being the coldest day of the winter so far, we have a couple storm threats to track here over the next 7 days or so. So let's get started here with the GFS. We're looking here, I'm already out to Wednesday. We're looking at our next storm threat to be Saturday. I've been mentioning this for the past few days now. It's looking like a rainmaker for our region. As we take this out here, two separate lows develop, which most models do agree on the two separate lows. One tracking through the through the Midwest, and another developing along the coast here. It's which one becomes the primary low is the question in here. If this low dies out a little further south and transfers its energy to this low, and this low becomes a primary low and tracks up the coast, there's a chance for some more cold air to be drawn into the system, and which would allow for some wintry precipitation for our area. It's not looking likely at this point, but the possibility is on the table. And we'll play this out here. GFS takes the primary into Chicago region. It was a fairly significant snowstorm to the upper Midwest. Nothing too crazy. But this low remains the secondary low rather than the primary low. And even so, it actually does give a mixed precipitation to those in interior Pennsylvania regions, more towards our northwest, and even into the northeast part of the state. So those in the Poconos, this particular run gives you a mixed bag. Nothing significant. As we take this out here, it moves along, so it's a quick hitter. It would be roughly a 6-hour event, nothing crazy. And then this starts to weaken and die out, and this low starts to become the more primary low, which allows for the cold air to get drawn in, as you can see here. Vermont, New Hampshire, upstate New York, even parts of Massachusetts getting a little bit of snow. It's still not a big event for those areas. And now we're going to talk about our second storm here. This is the storm that has the more significant impact possible. This particular run takes this storm out to sea like so. 999 millibar low, just out to sea this run. This is an operational run. This is not the ensemble guidance. And let me tell you, it is key to not follow. If you are tracking this storm, do not follow the operational guidance as of yet. Wait a few days before that. As of now, just track the ensemble guidance. But now, I'll take this out here. If this were to track just up the coast like so, we'd be talking about a pretty big snowstorm for our area. This is a huge difference between the previous run. Just to show you, again, this is why we don't use operational guidance this far out. Look at the previous run here. See the difference? This brings a low pressure close enough to the coast. That gives a pretty big storm for our area with snow on the backside. Not quite enough cold air to be drawn into the system, but that can be worked out later. Honestly, with a track like this, we would be talking a more wintry side than a rain side to this. So that's the difference between one operational run. Now, if we look at the assemble guidance here, well, actually, let's go to the Canadian run. See what that has to say. Alright, let's take this back here. Now the Canadian run for the Saturday system, this has a much weaker primary low heading into Chicago. That's a big difference, and actually makes the southeast coast low the primary low. However, it's still plenty of warm enough just for a rain event in all of Pennsylvania, which then leads to a wintry mix into New England states. Nothing significant. But now here comes the possible major storm. This time it tracks inland up the coast and then heads slightly out to sea. This again is very warm for our area, but nevertheless it's a huge storm. And again, we can work on temps later as we get into the future days here. A track like that on January, let's see, what do we have here? This is Monday, January 11th. A track like that would normally give us at least the opportunity to have some snowfall. Now that's the operational Canadian run. If we look at the previous run here, previous run showed again a very weak system. The difference is outrageous. This is why we don't use operational guidance this far out. Instead, we use the ensemble members. And let me just pull this up here. 1 second. Alright, just drag this. Okay, so we're looking at the ensemble guidance of the GFS here. And when we take this out to the time period we're looking at here, here's the Saturday event. Most of them take the primary well into the Great Lakes, leading to a rain event. So again, if I had to call a forecast right now, just a plain rain event for Saturday. It's the second storm that has my attention. Instead of just a weak out to sea solution, the ensemble guidance has a fairly strong storm, coming up the coast. If you look at the green here, this is the mean of all these I believe there's 20 of them, could be wrong. That's the mean, the average of the location of the lows. But as you can see, there's a lot of spread in these lows, but a lot of them are hugging the coast, and a lot of them are fairly strong. There's even a couple cutters in this spread here, which would be all rain event. So pretty much every solution is on the table, but the mean would indicate a winter storm for at least the interior parts of Pennsylvania, including Harrisburg. And then when we look at the Canadian guidance here, Canadian ensemble guidance is pretty cold, and it has a storm just a few hundred miles off the coast, which, if this were to happen, it would probably be a little too far out to sea for our area, but it would be a good hit for the coast. But this is, again, just a mean. This would have a bunch of members inside that mean, whether it be a coastal hugger or slightly out to sea. There would be a fairly large spread. But these ensemble members have been consistent, much different than the operational guidance. So that's what we're sticking with here. I'm calling for a rainmaker this Saturday. It won't be nothing crazy, just a light to moderate rainfall. And then our second storm, I'm still calling for a winter storm to impact our area early next week, based off the ensemble mean. The operational guidance does not have my concern right now. As we head closer to Wednesday, Thursday time period, I'll start taking the operational guidance more seriously. But for now, plan on a rainmaker for Saturday and a possible winter storm early next week. Sunday night, Monday time frame is the best I can give you guys right now. And I hope you guys all have a good one. I'll talk to you later.